Welcome back to What's the Story. I am Dan Kennedy, and I am joined with the baddest man in music, percussionist Mike, Dillon from the band, Les Claypool, and the fearless flying frog Brigade.
Did you have fun tonight?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. We were gonna do this interview beforehand, and I was gonna ask you what secrets this show was gonna give. And oh my God, I saw you guys do Mirror in the Bathroom tonight.
That was the secret.
That was the secret, and that was the first time you guys have ever played it.
Yep.
Tell me the story, how that came into the set.
Well, you know, we're a bunch of old gummers, and that song was big for us back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. Skerik played it in a band. Les probably played it and loved it too. So, yeah. Funny thing about it, Sean had never heard it before.
Wow. How?
Well, you know, it just wasn't part of his, wherever he was growing up.
Yeah.
It was a big song where we were in the late 80s or whatever.
Absolutely. It was amazing to hear you guys play it.
Right on.
Yeah. So the other big news is that Skerik is back.
Skerik's back. It's really good to have him on board, to have our lead saxophone.
The band is back together.
The band's back together.
That's an amazing thing.
And that's sort of the sound of the Frog Brigade. You always had that crazy horn honking away.
Yeah. So you guys are going to go out on tour for the next month.
You mean Halloween? It's ending on Halloween night.
Oh, okay.
Last night's Halloween.
Oh, yes. And then you're going out with your band, Punkadelic, until Christmas time.
Pretty much till Christmas.
You've been on the road basically for over a year straight.
It's been going.
Man, when are you going to get to take a break?
When I get out of debt.
Okay.
No. Which will probably be never. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Okay.
But luckily, I love what I do. I love playing. Sometimes all the traveling makes me go, wow, I'm exhausted. How am I going to pull this off? But somehow you always pull through.
Yeah.
It shows. I still find the energy to give it everything I have. You know, tonight was a 3-hour show.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone was with us the whole time.
Oh yeah. And there was lots and lots of kids here tonight. It wasn't just people our age.
It wasn't just a bunch of old gummers.
Yeah, it was amazing. So with all this touring and just playing all over the place, you've had time to almost complete a new Punkadelic record. Is that right?
Yeah, we got 9 tracks recorded. See, yeah, because we were out after the 2-month tour with Les this summer, had a little bit of time off in July, then started right back up at the end of the month. So literally had 7 days off. Then I did a tour with Punkadelic, and the first week was a festival. We played Pickathon, and then we did some shows around the Northwest. Then we met up with Clutch, and we started being the opening band of that tour, and that took us to the end of August. And the second I got back, I started writing music. And we started tracking September 13th, and in 2.5 days, we got 9 new songs done.
You're prolific.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you have done. And you have a new...
Keeps me out of trouble.
You just had a new record come out, too, with the...
Oh, Big Old Nasty Get Down.
Yes, the Big Old Nasty Get Down.
Yeah, that
just
was
came
fun,
out.
because that was a bunch of, I think Chad Smith and... Maybe played on Jack Irons.
Jack Irons definitely played on that.
I know Norwood played on it.
Yeah.
Larry Lalonde played on it.
From Primus.
Yep. Our man John Hines, who leads it, gets a lot of people playing on those records he puts together. And his concept is, if you're rolling through town, he's in the studio, he just calls you up and come over, come jam for an hour.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, see what happens.
Yeah.
And he sent me stuff too over the pandemic, so I've done a lot of stuff with him off and on over the years.
Yeah, excellent. And so, looking back to kind of the beginning of your career, or at least from when I first found you, I'm wondering how Matt Chamberlain got a 1/4 writing credit on Chef.
Well, he was in the room when we wrote it.
Yeah.
And we wrote that song, that was literally, when the band started, we wrote that the first rehearsal we had.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so Matt was the first drummer in Billy Goat.
Yeah. And also recently, I just was on your Facebook page, and I saw just a beautiful message that someone left for you. and it was from David Abruzzese.
He's a dear friend.
And it was a beautiful message, basically saying that he thanked you for everything you've done for him.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of people that have been dying. You know, a lot of our dear friends, Brad Hauser from Critters Buggin' passed, and then the great drummer Russell Batiste just passed. And, you know, I think it's important just to tell your friends you love them.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Yeah.
Once you start hitting a certain age,
yeah.
people start dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's, you know, not like flies yet, but I see where I just turned 58, so I think I'm at the beginning where people my age are starting to like have a lot of health problems, and it used to be just like 1 or 2 a year. I don't know. That's life, right?
Yes, but it seems
none of us get out of it alive.
It seems that you are in the best shape ever.
I gotta be to keep this schedule up.
Yeah, yeah.
And to play at the level I want to play at, it's pretty physical. Like tonight, at one point, I'm like, all right, am I still giving it up like the way I used to when I got a little bit more finesse now when I'm playing, because when I was in my late 30s still, I was just like, all the time, beating the shit out of the instrument. Yeah. But now that we play with in-ears, it's a different thing, because you can hear yourself so well. Especially for me, playing tabla and vibes, I don't have to like just beat the heck out of my instrument to feel like I'm being heard.
Yeah.
That was a part of it too back in the day.
That was a problem with David Abruzzese back in the day. He would break drum heads like crazy during live sets, and it would take them forever to change up the drum heads right in the middle of his sets. Why do you keep working with Pearl Jam ex-drummers?
Well, I mean, you know, I haven't seen Dave in a while, but really that was all pre-Pearl Jam. I mean, Matt and Dave were both friends of mine in Dallas. Matt had already done a few big gigs, and then he did one tour at Pearl Jam. Yeah. And he just was sort of like, he didn't want to be on the road. Yeah. He knew they were a great band. He told me about them before. He's like, this band I just did a tour with, they're about to blow up. Yeah. And that was back in the day when there were record companies, and if you were on a major label and they said you were about to blow up, there was a big chance you were about to blow up. Yeah. As long as you didn't self-destruct. And I remember Dave's band, Dr. Tongue, I think they were called, were opening for Billy Goat. And Matt looked at me when they were playing, and he was like, that dude would be great for Pearl Jam. I'm gonna recommend him.
And it happened.
And that's what happened.
That's awesome. So, okay, my last question for you, and my favorite question. We were all kids once. What were your favorite toys growing up? Oh,
I was just thinking about that the other day. I love that Evel Knievel. I probably answer the same question all the time, but the wind-up Evel Knievel that took off.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Absolutely.
That was definitely a top 3 all-time toy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have to think about, you know, we were kids when NASA was happening, so, and Evel Knievel. But I remember I had some cool NASA spaceship toys that I loved as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, brother.
All right, Mike, thank you very much for
Dan,
taking the time.
It's always good to see you, brother.
Always, always. Thank you so much.
Post-show instead of pre-show.
Thank you for watching. Leave us your comments below about Mike, about Les Claypool's Fearless Flying Frog Brigade.
It was a good one tonight. First show of the tour.
And let's have a great conversation. See you next time.
All right.